In the early 20th century, petroleum was a curiosity, a dark, foul-smelling liquid that leaked out of the ground in places like Pennsylvania. Within decades, it became the most strategically vital commodity on Earth. Empires rose and fell on its supply, and nations defined their entire foreign policies around this single black substance. Today, a similar story is unfolding with a clear, life-giving liquid. Because Earth is often called the blue planet, the sight of vast oceans creates a false sense of security. The planetary math tells a different story. 97.5% of the water on Earth is saline. The majority of the remaining freshwater is locked in ice caps or buried in deep fossil aquifers that cannot be replenished on a human timescale. That leaves only the surface water in our rivers, lakes, and streams, a mere 0.007% of all the water on the planet. Human civilization was built on a microscopic rounding error, and that narrow margin is currently collapsing. In 1900, the global population was 1.6 billion. Today, it exceeds 8 billion. This growth has broken the historical balance of our surface water supply. The largest drain on the system is virtual water, the massive volume required to support modern diets. Producing a kilogram of beef requires 15,000 liters of water, far exceeding the needs of basic grains. Urbanization concentrates this demand. As hundreds of millions of people migrate into cities, they place a load on water infrastructure that it was never designed to handle, pushing cities from Cape Town to Chennai toward total exhaustion. Climate change is destroying the water towers of the world. 2 billion people depend on mountain glaciers to release a steady, seasonal supply of meltwater into rivers. As these glaciers retreat, that buffering function disappears. The era of treating water as an infinite gift from the sky is over. Demand has eclipsed natural supply. When surface resources run low, civilization follows the first step of the oil playbook. We drill deep into the earth to maintain the illusion of supply. We are now tapping fossil aquifers, ancient underground reservoirs that took tens of thousands of years to fill. We are pumping them dry in a matter of decades. Massive industrial irrigation projects use this groundwater to temporarily sustain global food supplies, creating green oases in regions that lack reliable rainfall. This strategy has geographic limits. Saudi Arabia depleted its ancient aquifers to grow crops in the desert for decades, an undertaking that is now winding down because the water is running out. Groundwater extraction at this scale is a one-time mining operation of a finite resource, mirroring the extraction of crude oil. Step 2 of the playbook is financial commodification. As freshwater grows scarcer, its price is beginning to reflect its true value. Wall Street and institutional investors are now treating water as a lucrative asset, acquiring water-rich land and trading water futures on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. This financialization leads to Step 3, geopolitical warfare. Shared international rivers have become flashpoints, where upstream nations assert control over their downstream neighbors. Ethiopia's construction of a massive dam on the Blue Nile has created an existential standoff with Egypt, a nation that has depended on those downstream flows for millennia. The Aral Sea serves as the ultimate warning of mismanaged extraction. Soviet-era irrigation schemes diverted the rivers feeding it, leaving behind a desert of salt and rusted ship holes. Control over water now translates directly into control over populations, giving a strategic advantage to those who hold upstream geography or deep financial pockets. The parallels between water and oil match in terms of wealth and warfare, but there is one difference where the analogy breaks down. There are no substitutes. We can develop solar or hydrogen to replace oil, but there is no synthetic replacement for fresh water in agriculture or biology. Running out of oil causes economic collapse. Running out of water causes mass death in 3 days. However, unlike fossil fuels, water is a naturally cyclical system. The water we use eventually returns as rainfall. We can manage this crisis by engineering our way into that cycle with technologies like advanced wastewater recycling. Singapore already provides 40% of its water through its New Water program. Humanity failed to manage the geopolitical fallout of oil in the 20th century. We have a brief window to establish an ethical, cyclical framework for water before those same patterns repeat.